Ms. Lee, you stand before the court with a question you say haunts you each and every day. Is the man who raised you your biological father, or is it another man who is now deceased?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. France, you're here along with your brother who's waiting outside of our courtroom. You say your father claimed on his deathbed that he was the biological father of a child named Sonia.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, if indeed you've now found the correct Sonia, you believe the plaintiff, Ms. Lee, is your sister.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Lee, how have you handled finding out that your biological father could be a deceased man that you'll never be able to meet?
Well, Your Honor, from the beginning of this has been real confusing and overwhelming for me, mainly because I only knew one man to be my father my whole life until he died. I was a daddy's baby, and me and my father was very close. I never heard of Mrs. France's father until I was 38 years old. So it's been real hard for me.
I understand. Take your time. So for
it's hard for me to be here
years,
even questioning my paternity, you know, because I loved my dad so much and he loved me. But at the same time, I know that the truth needs to be known, because if I do have siblings, brothers and sisters out there, I would want to connect with them and bond with them. You know, that's something I've always felt.
So, Ms. France, please tell me about this search, how it came about. You say this was your father's dying wish?
Yes, Your Honor. The whole time I was growing up, I heard of Mrs. Lee, and I was always told that I had a twin in Michigan the whole time. We went to the same schools, we know the same people, we never even met. Our kids are even best friends and never even knew they were cousins. Yes. I even know her grandmother. And her grandmother and my grandmother are best friends. And I still never met Mrs. Lee until I was 42 years old.
How long have you known or had this knowledge that she was out there somewhere?
Probably since I was about 5 or 6.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. And Miss Lee, you never had any knowledge?
Well, I remember when we were in high school, I was at the same school, and they would tell me that it was another young lady there that, like, our classes never, we never went to classes together. Like, she went at a time before I came, and they would say, it was a girl here that looks just like you. I think she your sister. This was the talk.
Really?
I dismissed it as gossip and rumors. You know, I had no reason to think no fact was to that. I had no reason to even question it. So when they would say, y'all got the same eyes, y'all even got the same nose and forehead, I'd be like, yeah, well, people look alike. You know, everybody has a twin. I didn't ever think too much of it.
Wow. So, Miss France, now you say this was your father's dying wish to find Sonia. He gave you a name.
Yes, Your Honor. When we originally was told that she passed away, and then they told us that she passed away of AIDS, my dad, before he passed away, didn't believe it.
So I need you to explain that. You were told that this daughter, Sonia, had passed away of AIDS.
Yes, and probably around 90, 91, we were informed that she had passed away, that she had got, you know, she had been doing bad and she had AIDS and she passed away. And when I came and see my dad and I informed him, he said he had no recollection of it, he wasn't told, and he didn't believe it, so he wanted us to find her.
You received what, a message?
I started receiving some notifications of someone trying to reach me. I didn't respond to the messages for a while, let me say that, because it didn't make sense to me. I didn't recognize her picture, I didn't recognize her name, and it was saying they were looking for their sister. And so at this point, I'm like, it can't be me. So I kept ignoring it. Maybe after 3 or 4 messages, I finally responded to where Miss Davis, I responded to Miss Davis, and where we exchanged numbers, and I called her, and she just started spilling the story out, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute, slow down. You know, because it's just like, you know, I'm your sister, I know you don't know this or understand it, but on our dad's deathbed, he had me look for you, and we thought you were dead. And I'm like, wait a minute, so now I went from being one man's child, whose name I carry, to being dead and in somebody's obituary from a man I don't even know.
Exactly.
And I was told I have I don't even know how many, what the number is, all these sisters and brothers. And it was just like, wow, wait a minute, slow down.
So you had doubts?
Doubts, I rejected it, period. I just rejected it because it didn't make sense to me. And so I called my mother. When I first called, my mom was like, you know, somebody just contacted me. What does this mean? Who is Mr. Miller? And she was like, first she just rejected me. She was like, ain't no sense talking about that. You know, I don't know what you're talking about. She wouldn't even discuss it with me at first.
As you stand here today, even though you talk about the experiences you could have had, you also still sound doubtful in a sense.
I am. I don't have any proof. I was born, and I have this, I was born with one name on my birth certificate.
Jerome, please pass me that
When I was
evidence.
a child, my mom and dad adopted me and put me in Mr. Lee's name. So now then here's another man's name. You know, it's just confusing for me, and I just want the truth so I can freely reach out and bond. You know.
So here we have legal documents that
My birth
confirm that your name was changed from Sonia Annette Parker to Sonia Annette Lee.
Yes.
So when you were adopted, your last name changed to Lee.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, ma'am,
Yes.
please state your name for the court.
Your Honor, I'm Gloria Washington, Sonia's mother.
Okay. And so please, Ms. Washington, enlighten the court as to your recollection or understanding of this situation.
Okay, Mr. Miller and I were involved years ago. And during the time when I was 6 months pregnant with her, he left me for Mrs. France.
Hello, Mr. Miller. Thank you for joining us today.
I'd like to ask you a question. If it's okay with you and Miss Lee, could I give her a hug?
Oh,
This is my first time seeing her.
if that'd be okay. Thank you for being here today, Mr. Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I have to ask you, what is your understanding about this situation? We have heard emotional testimony from our defendants here. What do you believe?
As I was sitting out there listening, and I heard it, and it's emotional to me too, because he was my father. I'm the firstborn.
Do you remember ever hearing about Ms. Lee growing up?
No, because I didn't hear about. I met them 10 years ago.
So as you look at Ms. Lee, do you believe she's your sister?
Yes, I'm looking at them too, right there. They're together. I'm just looking at them.
You
know?
say they look just alike.
Just alike.
In the case of Lee v. France Miller, as to whether Sonia Lee is related to Ronald Miller and Rachel France, and thus is the biological daughter of the late Ronald Miller, Ms. Lee, they are indeed your biological brother and sister.
Love you.
All right.
I told you.
He can rest and you can be
Yeah,
happy.
you can rest and you can be happy knowing that we are here. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, I love you, honey. I know it. Yes, I told you.
How you feel, Miss Lee? That's a lot of love came pouring in, didn't it? Ms. Love and Ms. Willis, now you're suing the defendant Karen Williams for $5,000 for defamation of character. You say she's destroyed your family name by claiming your father cheated on your mother with her, and this affair produced her daughter, Stephanie,
Yes, Your Honor.
who you say is not your father's daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
No.
Now, the court has ordered a DNA test, and the results will be revealed shortly. Ms. Karen Williams, you say you haven't defamed anyone's character
Yes, Your Honor.
because you've told the truth about the affair, and the results of today's paternity test will clear your name
Yes, Your Honor.
and identify your daughter's father. Ms. Love, after all these years, why do you finally bring the defendants to court today?
Because I'm tired of Miss Karen Williams going around town telling people that my father fathered her child.
And so how long has this been going on?
I'm 35, so about 30 years.
30 years. All this time?
All this time.
And you're just coming to court today?
Yes.
So take me back. This is a claim for defamation of character.
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you believe she's defamed your character?
From the time I was about 6 years old, this been going on with Miss Karen. She done followed us in stores, workplaces.
Jobs, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And what does she say when she follows you?
Accusing, you do, Miss Stephanie,
This
say
is
hi
your
to your
father,
sister.
this is your sisters.
Say hi to your big sister. We ain't her sister.
We not related to her. She don't even look like us. And I got proof she not.
So you say for 30 years people been following you saying
that she is my father's daughter, and she's not.
Ms. Williams, have you been following them around saying?
No, Your Honor, I do not know them. I met them in '94. What I've told is true, and this is his daughter.
So you saying in 1994 is the first time you laid eyes on them?
Yes. Yeah.
So when you were involved with their father, did you know he was involved with their mother?
No.
You
No,
didn't?
I didn't. I
Yes,
didn't.
she did.
So-
She lying.
No, I didn't even know he was married at the time I was involved with him.
So you didn't know? So Ms. Williams, this is your daughter.
Yes.
Ms. Williams, how old are you?
I'm 34.
And Ms. Love, how old are you?
35.
And Ms. Willis, how old are you?
33.
Oh. Smack dab in the middle. How long did this relationship last?
Last, I'll say about a year.
About a year or so. And you felt you all were exclusive. You were only
Yes,
sleeping
Your
with him?
Yes,
No.
Your Honor. I thought I had someone. I was in love with him.
So when you found out you were pregnant, you told
I told him.
And what happened?
And he came and picked me up, and we talked about it. And he did not say he wasn't the father. He just said that, that congratulations to me.
I was told by my father who my father was. He came to my house.
Yes.
I was about 7 or 8, and he explained to me who he was.
That's
He
fine.
was my father. He gave me his phone number. I mean, reluctantly, my mother didn't want me to call because when I did call, I was cursed out by, I'm assuming it was their mother. B, don't call here anymore. He's not your father. I was 7 to 8 years old. I mean,
Wait a
I
minute.
was hurt by
So
that.
you called the phone number your father, which
Gave me.
their father,
Yes.
gave you.
Yes.
You 7 or 8 years old.
Yes.
Your Honor, can I
And
speak,
when you
please?
call an adult
Answer-
curses you out?
Yes. Why did he come and give me the phone number? Why did he explain to me he's my father?
Did you ever hear anything about this phone call, Ms.
No,
Love or
ma'am.
Ms. Willis?
No, they put him on child support. The blood test, DNA test had already been done.
Wait, there
before-
was a DNA
know nothing about
test.
that.
Wait, explain this to me.
So when he was a truck driver, my dad didn't see his checks from him. They was direct deposit to the bank account. My mom did the balance of the banks and statements and all that. So when she noticed was money being taken out for child support, my dad went to find out what was going on.
I do not know anything of child support.
You never received the assistance from the state?
No.
And you never received the child support?
No.
I was cut off of assistance when my test was taken, my attorney test was taken.
What didn't you do?
When I went there, they couldn't verify that he had been there. They told me to just do what I need to do. My daughter got scared. She threw up on me when they took the blood. So we had to catch the bus back home.
So your concern is because you went to the facility, the
Yes,
testing
ma'am.
facility,
Yes, Your Honor.
but you never laid eyes on him. He was not present.
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you think happened?
About 85, he came over in the summertime, him and a family member. And they were laughing and talking. And one family member said, "That's my baby." And I said, "Oh, maybe someone else took the test."
No,
Did you ever hear anything like that,
No.
Miss
No.
Love or Miss Willis?
no. She said my father didn't show up for the test, but he did.
Did you ever receive a paternity test result that said he was not
Yes.
determined to be
Yes.
the biological father?
No.
Yes.
Yes, we both seen the results.
You saw them.
We had a family meeting to see the result because it was going on for so long that my dad set us down in a family meeting with me, my sister, and my mom to discuss what was going on and why this was going on.
Mr. Banks, thank you so much for joining us. Hello. Of course, we've been here discussing with Ms. Willis, Ms. Love, your sisters, the fact that Ms. Stephanie Williams contends that she's also one of your siblings and that you share father. Do you believe that to be true?
I mean, we talking about my dad. He was Rolling Stone. It's a possibility.
You're saying to this court that your father slept around
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Yes, I'm not the only one.
So Miss Love and Miss Willis, you hear your brother saying these things about your father.
Yes.
Did you know any of these things?
Yes.
So why am I?
But when it came to his
Your
children,
Honor, why is it such a,
no. When it came to his children,
Why is it
or
so
claiming
impossible
kids,
I'm
or
not the
making kids,
child?
we all grew up together. We might have had different mothers, but we all grew up together.
So your point is, we have a different mother from him. My father claimed all of us. We were all raised to be family. If he truly believed Miss Williams was his daughter too, why wouldn't she be included?
Exactly.
That's what your point is. You're following your father's lead on the situation.
Yes.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, I understand where they're coming from. I mean, you all have different mothers. You're still raised as family. Why do you feel Miss Williams was included if you feel like it's a possibility that she's your sister?
I wasn't around when all this happened, but it's a real good possibility because my father was a ladies' man. He got around.
When it comes to 34-year-old Stephanie Williams, as to whether the deceased Andre Willis was her biological father, it has been determined by this court. Miss Stephanie Williams, Mr. Andre Willis, was not your father.
I told you. So your mama lied to you for 34 years. What you gonna say to her now?
Now you could have
now.
Yes,
Let's first get some control. And before Ms. Willis and Ms. Love, before you plan your celebration, if you take a look across the aisle, I think there is room for a level of compassion. You all were blessed to know who your father was. Yeah. This young lady is only going off of what she was told. And quite frankly, Miss Williams' mom, there had to be somebody else.
Yes. And she said her
Can you recall who, in fact, her father is?
No, Your Honor, because of the situation I went through, that's who I was with at the time.
Well, that obviously was not the case. Now, whether you want to admit it in open court is your business. Ms. Young, you and your daughter are here in court today to prove that your deceased common-law husband, Johnny Wallace, did not cheat on you with Ms. Terrell and father her daughter, Ms. Patton.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say once the results prove he is not Ms. Patton's father, you will sue to recoup all of the Social Security benefits from Ms. Patton that she wrongfully received after his death, totaling over $12,000.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Terrell, you say Mr. Wallace never denied your daughter, but it was you who chose to separate your daughter from Mr. Wallace's crazy lifestyle. You claim that once the DNA test proves you right, you want your daughter, Miss Patton, to be accepted by the Wallace family. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, Ms. Young, when did you first find out about Miss Patton as one of Mr. Wallace's children?
Your Honor, the jury is still out on that one. I never found out. All I know is that I've known him since I was a teenager. We lived together. He's my daughter's father. And I never knew of Kaisha being his daughter, and still don't till this day. I found out when my kids started getting Social Security, and then a few months after that, I got a letter from Social Security indicating that someone was applying for Kaisha Social Security for her father also. That's when I got my first knowledge that he was supposed to be her father.
So, Ms. Terrell, you say that Mr. Wallace acknowledged your daughter?
Yes.
And his family?
Yes. Me and Mr. Wallace was going with each other. We was together every day. We would go out.
Did you know he was in a relationship with Ms. Young?
Well, he had other baby mamas. He was around with all of them.
So, Ms. Patton, what was your relationship like with your alleged father, Mr. Wallace?
I didn't have a relationship with him. I saw him. I had a conversation with him, and that was pretty much it.
When you say you didn't have a relationship, he was not a part of your life?
Not consistently, no.
And you say you had a conversation with him?
Yes.
Just one?
Yes.
In your lifetime?
Yes.
Did you ever hear about Miss Patton?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
What did you hear?
One day, Mom said, you know Kaisha's supposed to be your sister. And I was like, yeah, right. You know, thought she was playing. She was like, no, for real. She's supposed to be your sister. So I called my daddy on the phone, and I said, you need to come here right now. I need to talk to you. And he came right away, and I said, Kaisha's supposed to be my sister. And he said, no, she's not your sister. And I said, well, that's what my said. He said, what did I tell you? He said, you think I wouldn't have her around you and your brothers? And then me and him never talked about it again.
Were you told that this was definitely your father or that this may be your father?
I was told he was supposed to be my father.
In the moment when you met him and you had that conversation, and of course you're only 8 or 9, so you're a young girl, did you get the sense that he knew you were his daughter and was acknowledging that, or that he questioned whether or not you were his daughter?
It was so much back and forth. I just wanted to be a kid. And in trying to be a child, I was tormented by them.
How?
Well, he say your daddy, but we don't know. Or my thing is, at 35, I'm still living 10 years old, 12 years old. As a child, I would play with Tamika. From my knowledge, her grandmother raised her too. So maybe that's why her mother did not know or did not have the knowledge, maybe because she wasn't there to raise her child. I don't know. I know of Miss Young. I don't know her, just as she doesn't know me.
So, Miss Patton, you ended up being entitled to Social Security benefits after Mr. Wallace's death. You're saying his family accepted you.
Yes.
And so you were listed as one of his children and obviously received benefits
Yes, ma'am.
after his death.
My great-grandmother said that when they called her and asked her, did she know anything about Kaisha and could she be the daughter? She said, I know Kaisha. Johnny said he gave her mother money at one point to get an abortion, and she think that they went shopping with the money. I wasn't there, but that's what she said. She told Social Security.
In a situation like that, as law, if there is a question of paternity, then a paternity test would need to be taken, correct?
No.
Before they disperse government funds.
Not back then.
It is my understanding that when they called your great-grandmother or whomever this family member was, whatever information they elicited led them to the belief that you were entitled. Now, since none of us were on that conversation, we don't know exactly what was said. But it, of course, to me, seems interesting. He's not on your birth certificate. There is question amongst the family as to whether or not you are or are not his biological child. And yet you are still collected. You collected. And so somewhere along the line, someone gave that caseworker a very strong feeling that you were, in fact, his biological child.
They don't go
Probably because, as we just heard in this courtroom via testimony between you, Miss Patton, and Miss Stapleton, you all testify to the same things. That you all were carted around and raised, at least at some point in time, like you were sisters.
Yes, ma'am. Miss Young claimed she never knew about me. I was never accepted. I got on a flight to Savannah, Georgia, with Miss Stapleton to come and get her. If you didn't know me, if you didn't accept me, why? I can understand Miss Stapleton. She just want to know. Just like everybody else, just want to know. But all the extra drama, when you have known about me and you've chose to accept me depending on the day and the way the wind blow, now it's a problem. When you've been to my house, just like I've been to yours, so you coming sideways, why? I'm not understanding her motive. I'm not understanding her point.
I understand and I feel your confusion. That's why this courtroom exists. Because you are not the only family that is wrestling with a level of dysfunction or confusion with a paternity claim. That's why we're here, because it leads to this. 2 beautiful young girls that grew up together, playing together, are now standing on opposite sides of the aisle trying to answer questions that really adults should have answered for them long ago. So as I read these results, keep in mind that they are based on the presumption that Miss Stapleton is, in fact, Mr. Wallace's biological child.
Right.
In the case of Young versus Stapleton Patton, pertaining to Kaisha Patton, it has been determined by this court, Miss Patton and Miss Stapleton, you are not related.
Huh? Already knew it.
All right.
Miss Stapleton, are you okay? I see you overcome with emotion. What are you feeling?
I just feel like we should have known this a long time ago.
Yeah.
They should have cared enough as adults to make sure that we had accurate information a long time ago.
Miss Patton, how are you feeling now?
A little relieved. I just don't have to go through it no more. And now I can move forward with my life.
Miss Terrell, I have to ask you, is there another man that could potentially be Miss Patton's
No, it's
father?
not, because I was a virgin at the time, no.
And you were never with any other man besides Mr. Wallace?
No, I started seeing someone afterward, and I took a maternity test downtown. No, he was not the father.
Is it possible, but maybe you forgot or overlooked someone?
No.
So now listen, the DNA has proven that they don't share a father.
They don't.
But it doesn't necessarily preclude Mr. Wallace from being Miss Patton's father if he's not Miss Stapleton's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you certain, beyond a shadow of a doubt?
Yes, ma'am. I am 1,000% certain that Johnny Wallace is Tamika Stapleton's biological father.